Hey there, my name's Kristen. I'm going to be sharing divine guidance with you guys today. Let's ask our angel saints, ancestors, and guides into our space to provide love and divine messages for our highest and greatest good. We're surrounded in divine white light and love, and so it is. All right, let me know you're here. Tap in. All right, say yes to receive and allow. Only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to support our channel. And I am grateful for all of you. It was just 4 for 4. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so we're going to use 3 decks today. All right, we're going to start with a tarot deck. I've already shuffled these. They are ready to go. So, 5 of Swords and the Star. So I'm getting like there's been an attack. There's been attacks. There's been some conflict, some disagreements maybe, even like gossip, slander, defamation happening regarding this energy. I feel like it has something to do with not wanting someone to attract something into their energy. I feel like you could have had a relationship with this person. All right. You may have cut them off. So you may have used your sword to speak your truth, stand up for yourself, and see through their bullshit. So I feel like there's that. Let's see what else we get. All right. Thank you all. Let's see. Okay. I'm getting like your discernment's on point. Okay. So trust your intuition. Trust your knowing. You could have a real strong, like clear abilities. All right. 4 of Wands. Like, oof, this is like, you know, closing out a chapter and like manifesting a new one and like enjoying your life to the fullest. Okay, so you're enjoying your life to the fullest and you're not interested in the past, right? The Wheel of Fortune is like a cycle has completed, and the 4 of Wands is like celebrating that milestone. Like it's like you did it. All right, Temperance energy. So this is like divine emergence. All right, this is understanding balance and restoring that here. This is peace, happiness, joy, doing things in moderation. This is also like alchemy, like alchemizing, like in the moment. Okay, so you may be someone who literally just alchemizes energy. Okay, I have the Queen of Wands and the 10 of Cups. All right, let's see. Temperance, Queen of Wands, and the 10 of Cups. I feel like this is something that you're here to create. I feel like you're in your magic. Okay, there's something about you. There's some sort of skill, talent, mastery, passion that you do that helps to alchemize. You could be a teacher. You could be someone who's showing the way. You could be someone who's being seen. You could be a singer, artist, musician, an influencer. You could be like, you know, you have like the cutest clothes. I'm getting like art, some sort of craft, some sort of hobby, some sort of passion project. All right, there's something you're following and it's your passions. You're taking action and you're okay with doing it alone. Like you don't need an entourage. You don't need other people. Okay, I'm getting like, this could represent like your home life is very balanced. Okay, or this is something that you're working towards. This might be something like people are like observing of you. All right, you're very peaceful. Yeah, look, 7 of Swords. This was in reverse. I feel like if there was any kind of like attempt to disrupt, I feel like there was the ability to transmute. Okay, and I feel like any like shame, fear, whatever someone is saying, doing, whatever this is, I feel like you're unbothered by it. I feel like anyone's plots and plans against you, you're unbothered, okay? You're unbothered, and you're continuing to create magic here, regardless of what others wish for you or whether they disagree. Okay. All right. You don't let any of that stop you. Maybe once before you used to care what people think, but I'm getting like you're no longer letting that control your environment. I feel like you are really rooted in this energy of like loving oneself, and this very much could be, you know, what you're sharing with other people. I feel like you're very bright, you're very in touch. I feel like water. Okay, I feel like this is about growth and development. Maybe you're meant to share your growth and development. People are supposed to witness. Yeah, I'm getting like they're witnessing. Whether they like it or not, they're witnessing. Okay. You stay in your own lane here, right? This is you connecting and being in this blissful reality of yours. I feel like you're the love you've always been seeking. All right. So instead of looking for love in all the wrong places, I feel like you finally looked in the right place, and it was within. Beautiful. It's like, let me show you just how like massive your energy is, right? Your love. This is victory. Okay. This is like picking the battles, like picking the right battles. Not all of them are for you. All right. So I feel like there was a battle won. All right. This is like victory, success, accomplishment, getting the job done. Okay. So this is like also like big enlightenment energy with the sun. Vitality. Okay, look. Yeah, someone tried to create some sort of ending for you. Someone tried to take your vitality right on out of here. Okay. What's happening with this 10 of Swords? 4 of Swords. Ooh, someone is now having to reflect, okay, on the pain and suffering that they put on you and your family. All right, they find themselves out in the cold. All right, they're now trying to find ways to survive. I feel like instead of thriving, they're having to focus on surviving. Okay, I feel like they're out in the cold and they're backstabbed. And this is like a what goes around comes around. All right, we have a 3 of Swords, and then we have like, you know, something being withheld, something not being brought to awareness, right? It's like something that's happened in the past that someone's not willing to like take a look at. Okay. And as a result, like it continues to create, you know, more suffering as a result of it. I feel like it has something to do with like an abandonment wound here. I feel like your advice here is to keep this energy blocked. Okay. I feel like there are other resources. You're not the resource, okay? If someone comes, you know, asking for your help, it could be a King of Cups, water sign. I feel like they'll pour on the poor me, okay? And I feel like you're all out of like blanks to give, okay? Like you're Queen of Swords, like you've got strong boundaries, okay? You've spoken and said the truth. This is you cutting out what no longer serves you. You're the boss, okay? No one tells you what to do, okay? No one tells you what to do. I feel like there's a really cool project maybe you're working on. All right, 7 of Cups. I feel like this person sees you as a financial opportunity for them. You are appearing as one of their options, okay? So that's why you need to be strong in your convictions, okay? Because they're not in a good situation and they see that you're better off in this moment than they are. They are heavily in their ego as well, I'm getting. All right, I'm getting like this 5 of Swords after the 7 of Cups. So this is kind of like someone wanting to like lie to get their way. Okay, manipulate. Okay, tell you what you want to hear. Try to get back into your good graces because they know that you are stable and secure. It's like they realize now that like you're the one with the favor, the divine favor, and that's what they want. They want it for themselves. So you have to keep this energy at a distance with the Queen of Swords. Okay. I feel like this person may be an opportunist too. Or this could represent like a father figure here. Maybe yours or theirs or someone's kind of in this mix here. This could be them as well as that King of Cups. We'll get more on that. I feel like they've taken steps to find themselves in a very difficult position, one that's actually caused them harm, or they may have like caused harm to others. I feel like this is them being like the wounded, you know, victim. Okay, I feel like they didn't make good decisions. Okay, so they're in this situation because of that, and you didn't make these decisions, and therefore none of this is your business. Okay, so if they want to bring their drama, I feel like they're going to be dealing with it alone. You're not the resource for them. Okay, I feel like there's been clear cut. Okay, I'm like hearing like cords have been cut. Okay, we're not trying to reestablish cords. We're not trying to get back in this energy. Okay, so be mindful. Be mindful. All right, because it's not a poor me. They chose and took action, okay, regarding their situation. I feel like there could be movement, okay? There could be, you know, fast movement too with the Chariot. I feel like there's a need to kind of leave the past behind and remember like what the experience truly was, regardless of what like this energy wants to say. I feel like they find themselves in the situation that they put you in, okay? And they're trying to get out of their Three of Swords situation, okay? And I'm getting, yeah, because look, you have them blocked, all right? And they want to interfere in what you're doing, what you're creating, all right? Or they want to take advantage of what you're doing, thinking that there'll be something in it for them. Again, they're motivated by financial means. So if you are looking like you've got more than them in any kind of way, they feel entitled to it. All right, so be mindful. There's a reason why the Queen of Swords is here, and she's like, hell no. All right, hell no. So is that it with this deck? Okay, want to get more info? All right, want to use this one? All right. Okay, what's at the bottom of this? Right. Okay, Tower, the Tower. There's a reason why they're in this Five of Pentacles. And there's a reason why they're in the Four of Swords, the Three of Swords, as well as the Ten of Swords, okay? You are, like, solo right now, okay? Like, you're not in this energy. You're not associating with this energy. Like, I'm seeing, like, different environments for the two of you. So you're not, like, exchanging energy at this time, okay? Like, you're not in contact is what I'm getting. And that also could be what this Four of Swords is that like, I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of like destruction playing out. So that explains this energy here. All right. Okay, this is remembering, you know, to pour into your own cup, right? They're going to be going through an ego death, okay? Yeah. Okay, so I'm picking up on air signs, okay? Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I feel like they chose the lack of integrity route. Like they're immortal and have no integrity. Like they don't have any morals. And this is not something that you want your family to be in. I feel like you receive all the confirmations you need to continue to focus on your purpose, your plan, your action, okay? You're protected by Archangel Michael, okay? You're seeing the numbers, the triple numbers, the angel numbers, the synchronicities, the signs. You're protected from any of their plans, anything that they send your way, okay? Archangel Michael's on top of this, all right? All right, Ace of Cups. I feel like you've gone through quite a process and you've healed yourself, all right? And as a result, like, you moderate your energy now, whereas before you might have overpoured for others and didn't prioritize yourself. This person took advantage of that. I feel like you've learned a lesson with this person as it relates to who deserves your energy and who doesn't. Like, your love is divine love, and they may not have appreciated or respected that. And you cut this person out. You got divine guidance with these doves, okay? You received, and you do receive messages from spirit. And I'm getting like, you pour into your own cup now, all right? You're no longer overpouring for anybody. And people are upset by that. People are upset that, like, you're no longer giving to them anymore. All right, they love the fact that, like, you used to share and be so kind and loving and all of that, but it was to your own detriment, okay? So I feel like there was a wake-up call here. They're like, no, you know, we have to learn this lesson of, you know, not over-giving and people-pleasing, and we can't heal everybody. They have to do the work themselves. I feel like there's about a bit of that, right, with this Five of Pentacles. It's like you learned that, like, you can't heal everybody. They have to, you know, meet themselves, right? You can reflect, right? You're probably a mirror, right? With this water, Ace of Cups, you reflect back, and people have to do the work themselves. And I feel like this person was not willing to do any of that. In fact, they chose a totally different direction. One that, you know, maybe they needed to look more into regarding, like, signing documents. I'm getting like someone may need to carefully review before signing. I feel like whatever someone signed might get them in some sort of hot water. Okay, we have Four of Swords, and then we also have, you know, spiritual and physical prison. So someone someone agreed to a contract that was immoral and lacked integrity, and as a result, they find themselves in spiritual prison or physical prison. So this could be like a soul contract. This could be an actual legal contract. This could be business. It could be for financial gain. It could be an agreement made between two people. I'm getting it was fraudulent activity. I'm getting it was an illegal practice. You're being asked to pray more. Pray for those who are going through their process of awakening, okay? So I feel like you can pray and encourage those who are also awakening on the path, all right? I feel like this person may be seeing things maybe from a different vantage point, and that's the whole point, is that, like, in order for them to see or do anything different, they have to see it from a different vantage point. Okay, they wouldn't accept it unless they experienced it themselves. Like, it almost has to be their own idea, right? That's why that ego death is so important, because this person is so heavily in their ego. This collective that I'm picking up on, like, super heavy in ego. Okay, Queen of Swords. Yeah, it's a result of childhood trauma. Like, we all have that. All right, so it's like, it's still up to you to work on it and work on yourself and make changes and grow as a person. It's not okay to afflict pain over and over and over again to other people, right? Like, I feel like there's a need to really look at the root cause of things here. What is the root cause of attacking this and coming after this, right? Yeah. Okay, that's confirmation for you guys. Okay, I feel like there's, with this King of Pentacles, I mean, I feel like Their greed has led them to health issues and a spiritual sickness. Okay. So I feel like they're not stable. They're not secure. In fact, if they said that you were unstable and mentally unwell, I feel like this is them. They may need to go to like a facility for help. I'm not a doctor. I'm just reading the cards. I feel like it could have something to do with like addiction. So there could be like an intervention or something that's happening, like a rock bottom situation that would, you know, be a catalyst for change for somebody for the better. Okay, this is so that, you know, there's an opportunity. This is the 9 out of the 10. There's an opportunity to do it different. Okay, I feel like addictions, codependency, you know, all of that. This is like feeding this. Okay, so it's like sex. There could be sex addiction, gambling addiction, money, you know, in the lower chakras. Okay, entertaining many options. Like nothing is satisfying whatever they're seeking. Okay, so it's like this thirst that can't be quenched. Believe me, they've tried. I feel like it's this energy. It's this energy that is feeding off of this person. Okay, spiritual hater. All right, so this energy has some darkness that is feeding, that they are feeding. So this could be their shadow. This could be, you know, their inner childhood wounds. They could be battling with karma. Okay, so against the divine feminine. Okay, high vibrational empress, earth angel on a special mission. I feel like they're stalking, watching. They may have paid people to come after you. I'm getting that could be also like some agreements that they made that were immoral. Okay, illegal. I think it's important that you cleanse your energy. Okay, maybe they need to cleanse their energy. I feel like they involved a group. Karmic family members are involved, not just them. Okay, so friends, family, all right. Potential fire sign energy, okay. Aries, Leo, Sag. I do have someone losing a job here, getting fired. Okay. I feel like there could be those who feel that their stability and security needs to move with them. I feel like that could be confirmation for you that you could be considering a redirection. Okay, so in some way, it doesn't have to be a move. It doesn't have to be relocating. It can just be like a redirection here. All right. And then I have toxic friends at the bottom of the deck. So when I was picking up the karmic family, as well as the 5 of Swords, I'm getting like, this is all happening for them. I have toxic friends. I have the 5 of Swords. So I feel like whatever was going on behind the scenes, right? The ill will being sent your way, right? The health issue, spiritual sickness. I'm getting like that's karma. And it's for this group here. So they all could be unwell at this time. Oh, yeah. Someone is sleeping with the enemy, and I'm getting like this enemy sleeps with their friends. Like, yeah. Okay. Yep. Are we done with this round? Are we doing another one with this? Okay, fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. That's who this is. This is who's sleeping with everybody. Sleeping with the enemy, toxic friends, fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. Heavy in the chart here. Okay. Or the one who they're sleeping with is sleeping with someone else. It could be someone from their friend group, and that's a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. Or the one who's there's a heavy fire sign here. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah, I'm getting that, you know, it's important that you take a spiritual bath and cleanse your energy. Okay. So I got light worker, healer, empath, and then I have false feminine, low vibe, watch for red flags. So that would be why they're wanting you to take a spiritual bath. Okay. I'm getting a lot of envy. I'm getting a lot of jealousy. Again, it's like spiritual warfare here. Okay. It is what it is. I feel like they were the one behind the scheming the whole time. So even the person that they connected with as it relates to you, this could be masculine or feminine, gender non-specific, okay? But I'm just using it as an example in the cards. I feel like they plotted and planned to do this, okay? And like it's almost like they tricked your person, okay, into thinking it was like their idea, or they didn't have this planned out the whole freaking time. All right, so someone got like duped. Someone got played. Someone thought that they had it all figured out, and come to find out like they don't have any of it figured out. In fact, they were the gold digger going into this dynamic with this false energy. Come to find out they're also a gold digger. So they're both gold diggers. Okay, and that's why they entered into whatever agreement this is. All right, I'm getting like there's fine print. All right, and as a result of that fine print, they may be held accountable in some sort of spiritual sense or physical sense. So they could be going to jail. They could be held accountable. They may have legal issues. Okay. They may have entered a business deal that was immoral, and as a result, they're getting caught up. Okay, so whatever they thought was a good idea was not a good idea. Confirmation, sleeping with the enemy. Okay. Could have something to do with like sleeping with others. Maybe that was a business deal. Maybe somebody made a deal for exchange of, you know what? I feel like you're protected. Okay, your past loved ones visit you while you sleep. You have strong ancestral protection. This false masculine is falling from grace, okay? They're no longer able to operate in this low vibration. They're also the one experiencing the health issues and spiritual sickness, okay? So they could be experiencing like some sort of mental health crisis, okay? Yeah, there is this energy of losing a job or being fired, okay? Maybe they're reactive at work, okay? Maybe they said something they shouldn't have said, or they did something they shouldn't have done. I feel like it's you know, some sort of karma playing out, and it's like right where it counts, right? Their stability, their security, their financial, you know, independence that they so value so much. I feel like they want to be this wealthy man so bad, and they'll do anything to do it. I'm getting like, including like things that are bad decisions that lead you into some sort of like physical or spiritual jail. Like this is bad decision after bad decision, okay? And there's nothing that's being learned here. So it's like, now they're going to learn a really hard lesson, all right? Look at abundance, financial stability, and blessings, okay? I feel like they're in this like mindset that like, how dare you be better off than them, right? And that is making them ill, okay? Mentally ill. And again, remember what's remember what's underlying here, okay? We have the devil, all right? And their wounds. So they're operating from some serious wounding here, okay? So this will absolutely be a catalyst for them. Okay, the amount of karma coming in here is a lot to bear with the Nine of Wands. So what do you want? Okay. Yeah, I feel like the karma here is also as it relates to addictions, alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, and money. Like they're feeding their addictions and they're taking action to feed those addictions. Okay, so it's like that's all that they're in this loop. Okay. All right, they're in this loop. And I'm getting like this energy feeds their addictions. Okay. Right, there's a lot of manipulation going on here that is causing someone to really, you know, seek out those earthly desires. Okay, so someone is heavily in their shadow here. So just be aware of that, okay? Because they may not be who they were when you knew them last. Okay. So, yeah, I feel like you're sitting on your throne and they tried it. I feel like they tried to take you off your throne. I feel like they were unsuccessful. Confirmation black magic's being done. Confirmation spell work. Confirmation sending negative energy. Okay? So I'm getting like they do all of these things, okay, with other people, okay? They do all of these things with other people, and that's the black magic, okay? These are the things that they do, okay? And they're racking up karma doing all this because they're doing things from a place of harm, and that's the intention, all right? But they're doing all of these things, okay? They're entertaining many options. So this is like, I just heard like sex ring, okay? There's something like that, right? And again, like that's also what they're doing, okay? So we have the black magic and then we have the death rituals and praying for your death. So they're into some dark shit, okay? And it's these false energies, like they're literally mirroring each other on my table here. Look at false masculines. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Okay, they are the same person. Okay, whether they want to admit that or not. Okay, so this person, these people, they have a contract to mirror back to each other what is unhealed so that they potentially can make changes. Okay, I have that they're a player. They surround themselves by options. Okay, this is someone who may have done some sort of fraudulent activity, illegal practice when it comes to their escapades, okay? Their escapades are catching up to them, okay? And they've been doing a whole lot behind the scenes here. They've been doing a whole lot and they've been doing a whole lot, okay? So they're getting caught up. This could be the feminine. This could be the masculine, gender non-specific. I do have fire sign energy here. Okay. Aries, Leo, Sag. All right. I feel like someone is trying to communicate with you through music. Okay. What else do we have? We're going to use this one. All right. What's on the bottom of this? Okay. So you might receive some good vibes. That's positive. I like that. I feel like you see this as a blessing. Okay, you see that you were protected in this situation from those who wanted to take you down, and they did the most to try to do it. And I feel like you are protected by Saint Michael. I'm getting like this was an activation for you. There was something that helped the healer realize that one, they also need healing, and two, they can't heal everybody. Okay, so it was like having this, you know, activation, if you will. There was an activation here. So it served a grand purpose. Okay, And there's many awakening at this time and seeing things from a different vantage point, okay? So let's have compassion for them as we wish people had compassion for us when we were going through our awakening, okay? But that doesn't mean that you are the resource, okay? You're not the resource. You're not the source. You're not the one that they can come back to, okay? I feel like there's been so much time that's passed, and there's been so many bad decisions and risks that have been taken, okay, that has led them to the position they find themselves in, okay? So they're needing to focus on their lessons, okay? These lessons are not for you to learn. I feel like they made some risk. They took a risk, and they had some partner-to-partner exchanges that led to some unsafe decisions, as well as like not thinking clearly. And this very much could be contributing to this. Okay. So we'll see. All right. Thank you, Spirit. They took some uncalculated risks, and as a result, they find themselves in a bad situation. One that they don't know how to get out of. Okay. They don't know how to get out of that. Okay, the last thing they want is for you to love yourself. All right, your intentions are positive. You're accepting this for what it truly is, and your part in it, and you've moved on. I'm getting like your priority is elsewhere. And so let's get some info. No? Okay. I feel like there's a new boo. There's a new boo in town, okay? There's a new boo, or someone is connecting with a new boo, and now as a result of this new boo, they're left out in the cold, all right? So maybe somebody wants to return and work something out with you, maybe even beg, all right? But they want to negotiate. This also could be the light worker, healer, empath energy is attracting someone who, you know, might be a good match, okay? I feel like it's either the masculine or the feminine. Again, like, just because there's a masculine on the card doesn't mean like it has to be that, you know, specifically. I would say it's really about the energy, like someone wanting you to negotiate, right? Like they have a say, right? I feel like they're thinking they have more control than they actually do, is what I'm getting. All right, so maybe before they were in a position to negotiate. So that's that Queen of Swords energy. That's King or Queen, take it out, might resonate. That's you, you know, calling the shots. They're not a shot caller. You're the shot caller, all right? They ended up with a gold digger, one that may have caught them in some sort of entrapment of some kind. It could have something to do with a pregnancy or a positive pregnancy test or some sort of like premonition I'm getting, or this is a mother figure, okay? So there's that. Maybe they're caught in some sort of love triangle with someone who's expecting. I have an air sign here. And then I have butterflies, devotion, can't stop smiling, happiness, and feeling complete. Okay, so they're realizing something, and it has something to do with, you know, your transformation and you being free as a butterfly. Okay, being able to do whatever you need to do. They're stuck in their situation. You're not stuck in a situation. Okay, there are regrets. Someone's feeling guilty, maybe feeling ashamed. I feel like this is what needs healing. Okay, they need to do that healing. 5:27 on my timer. There is no contact here. There is someone that is at a distance. There's separation, okay? So they've been sleeping with the enemy behind your back, okay? All right, specifically during a separation. Okay, so whatever agreement they entered into, it was not necessarily in your energy. Okay, but I'm getting like, it doesn't have to be that. It simply could be like somebody knows that they're missing a connection with you, and somebody knows that they're a cause of why you're in separation, is what I'm getting. Okay, maybe they didn't realize the contract that they entered with this person. Okay, that could have been like they didn't understand the contract. Yeah, somebody knows that like they're the one that is in the middle that caused some sort of separation. Okay, wherever that is, whoever that is, whatever. All right, let me got hair. Mama got hair. Third party, blamable, regret, love triangle, situationship, a secret hookup. Okay, the other woman. Feeling ashamed, guilty, all right, blamable, being distant. Someone's in a third party, all right. Or this all played out as a result of them entertaining options, right? Like, that's what they do, okay? I feel like they've done this in every relationship. You may have been the one that actually called them out, and as a result, there's a cause of change here, like someone's being exposed. I'm getting. You weren't one to mess with, I'd say. This false masculine is unsatisfied with where they're at. Like I said, they have this like thirst and they can't quench it, okay? They're losing interest in where they're at because maybe the person they're with is losing interest in them. They could be putting them in a third party. I was getting that they were entertaining others. All right. Someone could go to a diner or some sort of like, I'm getting the thrill is no longer a thrill, right? Because you don't care, right? Once you are no longer part of the trio here, you know, what's the excitement for? I feel like the thrill is gone, okay? So they're not like energized by this anymore. They're no longer able to steal your energy, all right? Through this triangulation, this love triangle, all right? So they're having to feed their own BS, all right? There is profile creeping and searching, and maybe they're trying to get to you. You have them blocked. So, you know, there's that. They could be looking to see who comments on your stuff. If you have a social media presence. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. We have, okay. Oh goodness gracious. All right. You ready for this, y'all? You know that song? Are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. We used to do it in cheerleading, the song. Okay, anyway, enough about that. Unexpected visit, phone call or a knock, riding by your house. Heartstrings, mind games, taking advantage. Okay, playing with feelings and stringing people along. This is their MO, okay? Again, comes out officially. There's something that happened here as it relates to some sort of pregnancy, okay? Maybe they thought that they could entrap somebody so that they could get child support, okay? Karmic family members involved, and then I have a 5 of Swords. And then I also have closed off, someone who has anxiety, someone who is refusing to give in, as well as silence. This is fire sign energy. Doesn't have to be though. All right. All right, let's get a couple more cards and we'll end this reading. What is the advice here? Water sign energy is what I'm picking up over here. What else? Get away. Yeah, I hear that. What else? Okay, I feel like you receive a lot of downloads, confirmations from the spirit world. You get a lot of beautiful energy there. I'm getting that someone may have been caught up as it relates to temptation, like the law enforcement's involved here. There's a criminal history here. It's like an exchange for money. I feel like there's some sort of like different kind of lifestyle, whatever this is, but I'm getting like there's secrets being held. I feel like it has something to do with the temptation, and someone might be on the DL or whatever that is for your situation or theirs. Take what resonates, okay? Someone could be in the closet, and so they've maybe were doing this for money, okay? That's what I'm getting. So someone is getting caught in this regard. This is being like exposed, okay? So someone's worst fears and secrets are being exposed. Yeah, okay. Again, more fire sign energy. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, that could be like who they're having like a secret relationship with. Okay, water signs and fire. So this could be like passion oriented, right? It doesn't have to be the actual signs. Okay, I feel like summertime, which is now, if you're in the northern hemisphere. I'm just going buck wild with these cards now because, yeah, someone is triggered. Okay, their childhood wounds, there's flashbacks. Again, somebody got caught in the act, all right? And they're angry. They're very angry. I feel like there is like something about a family here and feeling safe. All right. Maybe someone is doing all of this under the guise of some sort of family front. Okay. So it's almost like if they look like they're part of a family, then nobody would question what they do behind closed doors. So this is like, again, someone on the down low and getting caught and potentially dealing with law enforcement. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely, you know, someone sleeping with the enemy over here. I have love triangle situation, the other woman, secret hookups. I feel like there's a lot going on here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Options. Someone, the player energy. Remember I said somebody was taking a risk and they're feeding their addictions here. They're juggling connections. This is like same gender, but you know, take it how it might resonate. Don't get so caught up in that. But yeah, I feel like someone, you know, is doing them. It's like do unto them as you would do unto yourself or something like that. Yeah, I feel like someone has been holding back. All right, they may want to reconcile, but you know, you're not interested in a second chance here. Someone wants to rebuild because they've shattered their cover. All right, this family cover, they've shattered it. So now people are seeing the truth about this person and their dirty little secrets. All right, emotions are heavy. Like crashing in and out like waves, heavy emotions, fall time. So next couple months, okay, next couple of months, game over. All right, their childish behavior and wanting to get even with you, okay, is a pattern, all right, and this is where it ends, right? Like game over. The revenge game is over, okay? Somebody's going to watch the show. It says enjoying the show, okay? Time to enjoy the show. All right. Yeah. Look at blamable, being distant, guilty, and feeling ashamed. Game over. All right. Their weird behavior, their hidden motives. They're trying to be the nice guy so that people have this, you know, it's like the appearances of things, right? Like, oh, this person's such a nice guy. They did this, they did that, or this woman's such a nice woman, da 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 da, whatever. I feel like they're putting on a front. They do it so that people like them, so they can do all kinds of shit behind people's backs, okay? They do it from a place of ego. They do it from a place of pride, all right? What's coming in is long-term happiness, all right? I feel like you're attracting, you know, the love that you give and the love that you desire. I feel like this is soulmate energy, and this could just be a partnership that you have goals that you share. This could be work or business, but I'm also getting like a high level commitment here. I feel like somebody has a new boo and someone is not happy about it. Yeah, divine feminine energy, strong intuition, empath, and a healer to the others. All right. You're paying it forward, and justice is playing out. Legal matters, divorce, legal papers, and court. Someone has to go to court. All right. They're going to be caught up. All right. And you're moving on. You could be going on a vacation. You could begin a new adventure. I feel like you're running away into the sunset. All right. Stand your ground when it comes to this energy. Okay. Energetically and physically if you need to. All right. You are the, you know, boss of your domain. All right. Nobody can tell you how to live your life. Okay. You've separated from this kind of energy long enough to know that you're sovereign, you're strong, you're protected, you're being guided by Archangel Michael. I feel like they got themselves into some shit. So let them clean up their own shit. All right. It's not your job, not your problem, not your karma, not your lesson. All right. You don't want to have to learn the same lessons over again, do you? That's like taking algebra more than once. No thanks. Okay. So prioritize your peace in this situation. Okay. Prioritize your peace and let them experience what they need to experience. Okay. Sometimes that's how they learn the lesson. Okay. Because they're too hard-headed and in their ego to learn it otherwise. Okay. So let them fall. Let them fall. That also goes for, you know, cross watchers. Okay. If you are understanding what I'm putting down, I would say, and you were part of this mess, you know, and you were in this energy, then, you know, balance will be restored one way or the other. Okay. So certainly this is a good time to make changes in your life so that you can learn from your mistakes instead of creating them over and over again. Even the same mistakes that have crossed through generations after generations. All right. It's time for change, and it starts with you. So if you're feeling like that's you and you've made those changes, then God bless. But for those who haven't, they will be experiencing a dark night of the soul. Okay. This will be a catalyst for them. All right. Some of them may or may not make it out. And then I'm getting, this is all part of the spiritual awakening ascension process. And I feel like those who came against you will find themselves, you know, in some interesting experiences, to say the least. All right. So continue to focus on what you want, not what you don't want, and don't worry about them. They're handled. Okay. They're being handled. All right. So focus on an adventure and running away off into the sunset. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have the most amazing day, and I will see you on the next one.